That's all our boy is gonna hear. Just clapping the cheeks. You're telling me these sick puppies, as soon as there's fresh cheeks to clap, they're all over it. Like, I'm not saying some people wouldn't have fun with Casper the Diddly Ghost, but boy golly. Listen, I can make do with Big Boy over here, but these two are pushing it for me. Anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming. He's a master at sleeping with Casper the Friendly Ghost. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the sluttiest of them all? So by definition and synopsis of the Queen of Hearts, is a villain from Alice in Wonderland known for their violent temper and sadistic obsession with beheading anyone who displeases her, often for the slightest offense. And someone said they didn't really think she was a villain. I was like, oh, I guess you and I, I mean, I guess that explains why some politicians get in. I don't know, man, because to me, that sounded pretty fucking evil. I just wanted to point that out. I forgot about that. Hey, you, if you got this far in the video, make sure you slap that like, show your support, subscribe if you're new around here, and Patreon's where you can catch my full live reactions to all these episodes and more. You also want to help fund the channel videos just like these, and if you do join before the end of November, you get entered into a 1-year membership giveaway to the Patreon, so it's a great time to join. So let's get back into it. I'm dropping out and coming to live with the ghosts. I hear they at least use lube when they f you, unlike my guy. Respect. I do get the impression the ghosts would be gentle lovers, though. Let's be honest. Is it just uncomfortable, or does it actually, like nullify something of his? I thought maybe it was just really annoying bling, but I guess that answers that. I mean, just go talk with him, get it off, and then go back and move in here, right? I mean, if you've already gotten off with some ghosts, why not go get it off with the fucking man himself? Come on now. If our boy ever gets a fucking themed portal to his home, it's just gonna be a fucking bent-over ghost. Is this too much for some people? Maybe. But if it's too much for you, just know this is still tame in my standards. It's interesting that he's getting the movies, like, streamed to his head when he sleeps. Disney Plus would hate to know that he's getting a free subscription, but, what does that mean for the narrative? Apparently there are some women in this show. I honestly can't tell if that's a woman or a man. It doesn't necessarily matter. Hot is hot, but what... You are confusing me on which way you are. I'm getting real power bottom energy from this guy. Yeah, real power bottom status. I respect it. Now you might be thinking, Brandon, stop goofing around. You're gaffing around. Nah. Nothing's getting canceled. Nothing needs to stop. No, it will. I am nothing if not serious. I have never made a single joke in my entire life of living. These perverted ghosts need to stop. You might be saying, but Brandon, this is an innocent show. We don't need to make crude humor. The Disney overlords wouldn't allow it. I'm saying it's allowed. These sick puppies, man. You know, the one on the far left, I could deal with. But these two over here are just too much. Every time there's fresh meat in their homes, they talk about let's have fun. It's gonna be a wild night. You know, it's just... Because Buddy, you know, obviously he ends up getting punished here, and he spends a night, and holy hell, man, I don't understand why these ghosts are the way they are. Like, look at how they just jump his ass. I am 100% convinced that when the camera stops rolling, these ghosts have their way with people. And unlike you, who was like, pleasure to meet ya, I'm happy to sleep with ghosts, bro had the right idea. This is freaky. Now, objectively, what's actually happening? Of course, it's you know, they have fun haunting because they're ghosts and spooking. But tell me honestly, what is funnier, to imagine that these ghosts raw dog the poor bastards who sleep here, or they haunt them? I think we all know the answer. Now, overall, though, this was actually a pretty good episode. Now, if you watched last week's video, I talked about the fact that I quite enjoyed the action of last week. And the thing about last week's action is that you don't really look at Twisted-Wonderland as a show that is going to be the hottest action of the week. Not that the first episode didn't show some pretty fun animation, you just don't get the impression it's going to be like, oh my god, it could compete with My Hero Academia or shows like those, right? But it did, it was really good. This week, I would probably say I enjoyed more because there was way more world building and fun interactions. But in terms of a pure entertainment value, I think episode 3 was more entertaining. But man, between learning more about the stickler of the rules here, who, boy golly, a single slice because everything's to the books. The funny thing too is it's not even just like, hey, off with his head. which is, instead of, you know, as bad as the actual Queen of Hearts, it's just nullifies your magic while it's on. There's a couple of guys who just like woke up late or something. Like, it's just really funny, the fact that the way they've took these Disney villains, and they are Disney villains, despite some people arguing with me that the Queen of Hearts isn't, despite her enthusiasm for beheading people. The fact that it's such a stickler for the rules that, like, even waking up late, you lose your magic for potentially the whole day. And the fact that the only way for our boy to regain his magic is to replace the thing that he's stolen, even though it's a slice of a tart. It's so ridiculous. The fact that, how do you even make up for sleeping in? I guess this would make sense. Like, you can't, like, reverse time, so you'd have to stay the amount of time you slept in to make up for it. I guess stuff like that would work. It's really hard to say. But they actually did a really good job around the end of the episode where they start explaining how each of the school works. So I think it was the second episode where they started a bit of the lore building of how everything works. The Little Mermaid villain, I'm drawing a blank, basically she's all about academics and stuff, which is actually kind of interesting. You got Scar over here, who basically is all about the kind of like, we're competitive, we got to do all the greatness of the sports and everything like that. Queen of Hearts, obviously stickler to the rules, stuff like that, of course she is. This one actually kind of interests me because it's all about like potions and curses, and then you get like arguably the hottest dude of them all, because I assume this is a guy, but hell if I know anymore. But then we get the best one. Now this is Best Boy. Unfortunately, Best Boy has the NEETs in his school, and I'm not sure how to feel about it, because I don't like NEETs. But anyway, it's just like, the show is pretty good. Like, I'm not going to say this is the craziest world building and progression I've ever seen, because that would be an insane thing to say. But it's really good. And the one thing that I'm interested, and I guess maybe slightly concerned by, is that from what I understand, we shift character perspectives every, like, season or whatever. Like, we get different main characters and stuff. So if our boy here is actually going to be just like, not saying that he's gonna disappear after this season, but if season 2 comes out, which we know is already being made, do we actually just shift to a new character that will be our central? Because is there enough time in 4 episodes to finish his story in a satisfying way? Because I like what they did, especially with last week, because he's the one who kind of brings people together and can actually make them work together in a normal way. But is Yu's story going to be satisfying stopping point by the end of episode 4, or episode 8, I should say? I don't believe so. So I'm interested. I think that will be my main criticisms for this show, is if we get to the end of episode 8 and they're trying to act like, okay, we might see him in the background as like a side character, but we're not really going to focus on him anymore. Now, this could all be wrong and people could have lied to me. Could be a thing, or maybe people misunderstand how it's going to be, because as we know, anime adaptations do change things from source material. So it might make sense for the anime to actually keep Yu's story around longer than people are expecting. And if so, that could actually be a benefit for his character. Either way though, like, I'm leaving this show fairly satisfied. I've said it before, I am not a Disney hater. I like modern Disney. I like old Disney. I'm not someone who gets into this irrational hatred of everything's being ruined. There's plenty I like, plenty I dislike, but when I dislike stuff, it doesn't really sway my opinion like, oh, I'm not going to try the new stuff. And yeah, Disney Japan is definitely different than Disney North America in terms of how they produce stuff. It's really great how they've tied together the Disney properties. Like, I really like when he has his like little flashbacks. So he had like this dream about the Alice in Wonderland movie where they have to paint all of the roses red because the bitch don't like it white. Opposite white supremacists, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so like, you don't need to have seen these movies to know what's happening, but it's really cool because even though I haven't seen this movie in 20-something years, it's just really cool to see these little moments and how it feels fan servicey without it feeling like, oh, we're just making something to appease as fan service. This is a good show. I like it a lot. It's far from perfect, but in terms of entertainment and visuals, it's pretty close to that for me right now. The biggest question will be, is do they have enough time to properly finish Yu's story if they are going to shift to another character? That's my only concern right now, but I like this one a lot. Action last week, amazing. World building this week, amazing. Just these ghosts need to stop if we don't want the show to get canceled. Let me know your thoughts down below on this week's episode of Twisted Wonderland. Drop a like, show you support, subscribe if you're new around your Patrons where you can catch my full live reactions, all this and more. And hey, I also like to give video shoutouts to my wonderful patrons. All right, so today we got Misto Dreamer, Kusho, Sebastian Price, Jewel, Akato, James, Aris Cutchers, and we also have Amy. So I appreciate the support. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.